So this little fella here is an imitation Hemstitcher, and it's an odd little weird little thing. And if I turn it that way, there you go. So that's the Semanco number for it. Now, like you, I love YouTube, and I will go onto YouTube and I will find out how to use attachments. I have yet to find a YouTube video on how this thing works. So I had to do Googling, and I have come across a small piece of text on a some sewing website which describes how to use it, but it's vague. So I had to try and work it out myself. You will need, if you've got one of these, you will need 2 pieces of fabric. Now this does 2 things. It does an imitation hem stitch, and it also does a picot edge. Yeah, I didn't know what a picot edge is. I didn't even know how to pronounce picot. I was pronouncing it picot. The only thing you will need to do is to slightly loosen your tension. But just try it. If you've got one, just try it with your normal tension, and then you can just adjust it and make it slightly weaker, just to see how it works. Now, I have got 2 different colours of thread, and I've done that on purpose to show you what we're going to do. So I've got white on the top, and I've got like a purpley colour underneath. First things first, let's get it hooked up. Fiddly, all fiddly. Right. Now, my top thread is slightly in the way, so I'm just going to shift that out for the minute. Right, so 2 pieces of fabric. One is going to go underneath the attachment. The other one, and guess what? It's fiddly. The other one is going to go over the top where the needle hole is, which is fiddly, which is why I moved my thread out of the way. My needle isn't up high enough. All right, tell you what, I'll move that. Right, get that one under first. Okay, to about there. The other one needs to go underneath, and I am going to try to line them up ish to about there. Now I'm going to do 2 of these, because what the little bit of text that I've found, you have to swap and go back to your normal foot. So first things first, I am going to sew 2 of these together. So I'm just going to back it up just a little bit, drop the foot down. I've already had a look at my tension. Actually, my machine, I didn't need to adjust the tension at all, but you might need to with yours. Just, you know, all the machines are slightly different. So I haven't worked out where the top thread should be. So there's one. And then, actually have my scissors handy this time. So I'm just gonna chop that and just shove that out of the way. So that's what it's done. Now I've got, yeah, as you can see, I've got 2 different colored threads, but I've done that on purpose. So I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Let's leave the threads out the back this time. Let's see. No, because I know that that top thread just gets in the way. So let me pull the bottom one out. Right, same thing again. Shove that one there, and then the other one wiggles underneath. God, all these attachments are so fiddly. Sorry, my hands are in the way. I'm faffing. Right. So step 1 with this imitation Hemstitcher is to line them up. I don't know where that thread is supposed to be, but we'll just leave it. Right, put down and sew another line. Okay, now what the instructions say, I'll show you on this one I've just done. What the instructions say to do now is, with this, we are going to fold back both sides. Hang on, let me open it up this way so I can show you. So we're going to, oh, I actually caught that, dopey. All right. So what we do is we fold back both sides and it creates, or it creates that. But it says, because we're not finished yet, that we're going to press both sides down. And I've got a little iron set up, but I'll pause the video while I do that. You're going to iron both sides down. So let me do that first. Okay, so I've ironed both ones down. So it comes out like that. But then it says to take this foot off and put your normal foot on. So let me do that. And then fiddly, to put your normal foot back on. Now unfortunately this doesn't work. What we're about to do doesn't actually work with an edge stitch foot. But what we are going to do is by eye we're going to edge stitch. So what it says, so with this one, what we're going to do, now that we've pressed it open, and you can see the little pretty thing, this is why your tension needs to be slightly loose, because it's got to create that. I think if your tension is too tight, it will bunch or curl. But what we're going to do is we're going to stitch right on the edge of this fabric. Now, you can't do this with an edge stitch foot because it would need to be like that to do the edge. So we're going to just eyeball that. So I will do both. And we're going to stitch as close to the edge as possible. I need my eyes for this. Probably helps if you stitch it better, press it better. Right, I'm going to do one. Okay, I'm going to stitch just one. No, let me do both of those. So then we know exactly what it looks like. Bring that down. Right, that then is how the imitation hem stitch works. So you have to faff by changing your feet, but oh, it's so pretty. I have no idea what you would use this for. On a dress or something. Don't know, not sure, but it looks really cool. So that's what it does. But it does a picot edge as well, and that's why I've used two different threads, because here's my other one. Now white is the top thread, okay, but if I find, so right, so that's the top, the white is the top thread on mine. Now I use like the reddy color. So if I flip one, there's my bottom thread. So what we're going to do is pull out that bottom thread, but we need to stitch down the other side first. So this is the side I'm going to pull out. So I don't want to stitch this side. I want to stitch this side. So we're going to do that next. And again, you have to try and get it as close to the edge as possible. So let's do that. Okay, and then a little bit of magic. Okay, so I've only stitched that side, and if I flip, that's the side that's got the bottom bobbin thread. So what I'm now going to do, because it's so loose, let's grab, I'll grab it from this end. Then what you do is pull it. So I'm pulling out, in the light, I'm pulling out the bottom thread, which means that will now, I've done it right, that should pull away. There you go. And then look, it's like teeny tiny eyelashes. I didn't even know this is what picot is, but that's what it does. It creates, this is all just top thread, but because you've done this edge stitching, it's holding it down, and then you've got this very delicate, pretty little eyelash hoopy things. You can see it on that side as well, but it creates this tiny little edge. Isn't that so sweet? I still don't know what I would use it for. What would that be, on like the bottom of a skirt maybe, or I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how. I don't want to pull it just in case, but so yeah, so this little fella, oh, where's it gone? This little fella creates this and that. Isn't that cool? I really like it. So that, I had to work that out from a little set of instructions, but it's really cool. If you can get hold of one, they're sweet and lovely. But enjoy it. If you get hold of one, yeah, have a practice. It's lovely.